Hello, hello. Right, well, I'm not a panel on my own, so I really hope the rest of our representatives are here. Guy from Bonding, please come on up. Where's Angélica? Come on up. And Tarcísio. We've got some really interesting entrepreneurial stories tonight, so... Have we got some more mics? Or are we going to... Okay, that's brilliant. Well... Fantastic. Okay, well, I'm actually going to get these three to introduce themselves because they really show the diversity of entrepreneurial talent in the international community in Valencia. Now, they're all startups, entrepreneurs, so I'm going to say tight 3 minutes, guys, elevator pitch, all right? Please, you've got the mic first, Guy, so take it away.
Hi, can you guys hear me? I'm Guy. I worked for 20 years, almost 2 decades, in the tech world, in companies like Google, LinkedIn, Samsung. Had the opportunity to live in London, and 1 year ago I started this project which is called Bonding, and it's a company that we are building with the goal of bringing kids and parents together. What we see nowadays is that parents spend only 5 hours a week in face-to-face conversations with their kids. That's only 4% of their active time. And there is a big opportunity to help parents connect better with their kids. So I'm building Bonding, which is a platform where you can go and discover activities, creative arts and craft activities to do with your kids. You can also enjoy courses that would go from baby sleep training to potty training, or even how to handle bullying situations in school. And we also offer events and places that you can go discover, that you can go with your kids and enjoy a good family time. So basically, I spent the last 10 years working in the corporate world, like getting people to use smartphones and download apps, and now I'm doing the opposite, working to get people to get off their phones, connect with their kids, and enjoy time together.
Fantastic. That's a very noble aim.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tarcísio, and I'm the founder of Lumiere. We are a human-centered AI lab. Lumiere means light, and we are aiming to illuminate the mental health space, providing intelligent tools on WhatsApp to support mental health professionals with their workflows. Meanwhile, Lumiere Pulse brings real-time community reports via text, image, and voice, all on WhatsApp. Then the authorities and the official emergency channels can use that. And it was inspired after the Dana that happened here. So this is how we believe that we can use AI and technology to bring more clarity and yeah.
That's lovely. Thank you. And Angélica.
Hello, I'm Angélica. I am originally from Colombia, but I have been here in Spain for the last 7 years. And my background, very close, is very briefly, is 12 years outside of Colombia, living in 7 countries between Latin America, United States, and here in Spain. And that brings me to understand the different opportunities for women. And to create my mission, I was doing business consultants for companies, help them grow, especially in B2B markets. And I realized that there is a big opportunities nowadays. And my consulting firm is with the mission to close the gap between women's potential and create the life that they want to scale, they want to grow, and they want to open the market internationally. So basically, I have a program, a methodology, which combines 3 things. The first thing is the system, because you need a system in all the companies to grow. So it's made with AI. The second part is sales skills, because if you don't have sales skills nowadays in any business, you are not able to get clients and grow faster. And the last part, and for me is the most important part, is the inner engineering work, which is the mental leadership. So I combine these three things that I saw in different countries that is very important for business owners, especially for women to empower themselves. So that's my business.
Isn't that amazing? We've got three such different examples of business who are building with technology, but also with an incredible core of humanity and connecting with the individual, whether that's in parenting, in business, in mental health. I feel that's the thing that's drawing these three together and maybe drawing this ecosystem together. None of these businesses are particularly related to Valencia, and yet these three entrepreneurs and many others have chosen to come here and live here and build here. So I'd like to ask the panel next, and let's start with Angélica this time. Why Valencia? Why did you end up here?
Well, it was a big dream to me. I started in Salamanca when I arrived to Spain, and I did my MBA there. And then I realized, okay, I achieved this big goal, it was in the past to me, and I decided to set up a new goal. And I was trying to find a city who has the opportunity to build my business, focus on technology and also inner engineering work, what I'm called it. And also I love nature, I love the sea, and I was thinking about any other cities like Malaga or Bilbao and Valencia. And I really choose Valencia because of the ecosystem. It's an ecosystem made for people who want to grow, who want to scale their business, their ideas. Even if you, at the beginning, I just had an idea. So I feel like Valencia is the perfect place to bring your ideas into reality in terms of business and in terms of opportunities. And if you like nature and like balance between life and harmony, this is the right place for me, at least.
I think that's a great answer. And Tarcísio, you mentioned the Dana and the response to that. Is that why you chose to build in Valencia?
Well, I'll try to make it short, but my first time in Valencia was in 2019, and I stayed here for 3 days. And on my first day, I fell in love with the city. But yeah, on the last day, I was visiting Ciudad de las Artes y Ciencias, and I had a thought, an intuition, like, okay, I would live in this city. And then I went back to Brazil. It was funny because at that time, I was planning to go back to Australia, where I lived in 2014. But then I decided to investigate that thought. And so the government launched the digital nomad visa in 2022, I think. And yeah, I decided to come, and I landed here in 2023. It was opportunity. That's the story, the real story.
Fantastic. I love that moment of falling in love. What about you? Is it the same for you, Guy?
I think very, very similar. I'm originally from Brazil, so I was born in a very sunny place, happy place. And at a certain point in my career, I lived for 10 years in London, which is very rainy. And I like it because there were a lot of opportunities. I loved the city. I had a great career. But at some point, I was very tired of the weather. And my wife is there, and she's kind of laughing. And then I said to her, we need to go to somewhere sunnier with the kids. And we came. I always liked it, Spain, because of the lifestyle, of the culture, of the tapas, the good food, the weather. And I came here and I fell in love with the city. We also thought about Madrid, Barcelona, and we thought here was the right moment, the right time. I think the city is in a great moment, not as big and chaotic as some other places, and a perfect place to build a company like we're building that is focused on kind of well-being and family. I think for that, Valencia is the best.
Yeah, it's an amazing family lifestyle here, isn't it? And when you combine it with the weather and the natural beauty, everything else. I'm interested in all of your thoughts on the ecosystem here for building and being an entrepreneur. Maybe we can start with you, Tarcísio, on that one. How have you found that? Because you first came here some years ago. Have you seen changes in that? How's Valencia doing, and how is Valencia supporting you?
Yeah, I'm quite impressed, actually, with how it's been growing for the past 2 years. Although, yes, I've been spending most of my time when I got here actually building things, and now it's been a year that I've been attending more events. like what Valencia Innovation Capital, Nomads Hub, what you guys are doing at Ayuntamiento. But it's definitely, I see, it's growing and it's becoming a, tech hub, European tech hub. And I'm really happy to have chosen Valencia. So I wouldn't choose another city. Yeah.
You wouldn't do it all again somewhere else, no?
No, I would do it again here.
That's the best possible reference for Valencia, I think. And that moment where you stop building with the door closed and you come out and there's a community and an ecosystem ready to welcome you, that's really powerful. You mentioned that too, Angélica, that the ecosystem was important for you.
Yes, it was very, very important, actually, the community. I had the opportunity to work as a mentor in incubators, like Incubadora con Valores or VDS, and it helped me a lot to understand more my business opportunity, to have experience, like real experience, to test also my idea. So I think the community is very, very important, especially if you go inside and do volunteer. I started as a volunteer in the VDS like 3 years ago, and then I was also participating in the ecosystem. So I think it's a very nice opportunity to learn and dream and then act and create your ideas.
Fantastic. And Guy, how have you found the entrepreneurial ecosystem and also the family ecosystem? Because I think that's really important for your business.
Yes, indeed. I think starting with the entrepreneurial ecosystem, I think it is growing. I think day by day we hear more stories of successes, of companies, of nomads creating new business. So I think it's a great momentum for the city, and it's indeed growing. I still see a bit of a disconnection between the ecosystem and the bureaucracy that exists in Spain. I think that's the biggest opportunity for sure to improve. And I think where I see the biggest opportunities, and I'm talking about banks and this type of thing. But having said that, I think it's great, and I love programs like this. And by the way, thanks for the invitation. And I think initiatives like these ones are great. Then talking about the family ecosystem, I think, as I said on the beginning, it's great also. Like you have here places, thousands of places to go. You have schools, programs, and things that are perfect for families, and that's great.
Fantastic. You were actually preempting my next question, which was going to be to ask you what advice you might give to other people thinking of coming to build in Valencia. It sounds very much like all three of you would recommend that as a path, but obviously there are challenges. There are things that you could maybe wish were different. Maybe there's feedback that you want to share with the entrepreneurial community and with Valencia itself. What advice would you give an entrepreneur considering coming here to settle and to be part of this community? Do you want to start, Angélica?
Well, my advice is about inner engineering again, is discipline and commitment. If you don't have discipline and commitment, even if you go to the best city in the world, like maybe, I don't know, the biggest one, you won't be able to grow because you need discipline and commitment every time when you start to build your business. And also my advice is that you just not create a business for money or because it's now very well known. You should create a business because you believe in that, because it's like when you get married, you want to create this for long term and learn about it and pivot. So that's my recommendation.
That sounds like good advice for life generally, as well as for business in Valencia. What do you think, Tarcísio? Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, I think you should firstly take care of your well-being, your mental health. So I'll just bring up quickly here, when I got here in 2023, I was running my own business, but I was overlapping 2 other roles. And then, as you might expect, I crashed at the end of the year. So this is how everything started. So I would recommend you to, be resilient, but also take time to yourself, and a product, let's say, not a device, but an insight or something to contribute I would not spend too much time building things based on my own assumptions, especially nowadays that we have AI tools that we can build prototypes. I would have a clear problem that I'm passionate and obsessed about, that I can spend long hours working on that, and then find a way to put that in front of users and validate those assumptions, and then build the products from there, or business. So this is what I would recommend. And take care of yourself.
That's such good advice. I think those 2 points, the well-being and the looking after yourself. I mean, the fact that you built an entire product solution around that to help people using technology to solve emotional health problems and support entrepreneurs and everybody else. That's really important. What about you, Guy? What advice would you give to entrepreneurs who might want to come to Valencia, or more generally?
I think here, I would first say, like, I think here is a great place to come and start a business. Especially if you have family, it's also like a great place because you will find great schools, you will find welcoming people, and that's what you need. I think my main advice would be like to create a hypothesis, test the fastest you can, see if your hypothesis is right, and then launch it. I see a lot of people trying to launch things or build things now. I know there are a lot of tools that allow you to do that, but sometimes people are spending a lot of time on building, improving, and skipping the part of like validating the hypothesis first, which I think is very, very important.
I can see everybody nodding here that maybe the tools we've got now we can build so quickly. It's too easy to iterate without checking, and that's why it's so wonderful that we have this community now in Valencia Nomads Hub that you can plug into and reach users more quickly. I think that's really interesting feedback, and again, I think each one of you has shared something that's useful, not just for everybody in this room, but wherever you're building business, whatever you decide to do in your entrepreneurial journey. It's an interesting time, politically, geopolitically, technologically. Things are moving so fast. I'd like to take the chance now to have all of you look into the future a little bit with me and tell me what you're excited about for Valencia, for the ecosystem here. You can answer the question as generally or as specifically as you like, but what are you excited about for the future for your business, and then beyond it as far as you want to go? Who would like to take that one first? Letting it percolate for a minute. Tarcísio, you moved your hand first.
I moved my hand.
It's a mind-body thing.
I mean, I'm trying to be excited about I don't want to make it philosophical, about the present moment. But yeah, we need to look at the future. And I'm excited about the transformation that is happening from many different levels. On a business level, Valencia is investing a lot. All of these events, the ecosystem. Also, the tech transformation that is happening right now with this huge debate about AI. Is it a hype? It's not. But yeah, we've been able to do great stuff with that. But yeah, for the next 6 months, I'm excited about all of this transformation that is happening. Nothing specifically, but yeah, just tuning into that transformative moment and navigating to that.
Fantastic, because you're using AI in an extremely sensitive area of mental health. What do you think that journey is going to look like? Are people going to become too dependent on non-human support? Or what's that balance going to look like in the future, do you think?
Yeah, that's a tough question, because we're seeing people talking with AI already about their problems, and this is not our main goal, like having an AI companion, although we have that. But people need to talk with someone, and sometimes they're afraid to talk or to look for a therapist or whatever reason. And I'm seeing people using it more. So on the other hand, I think there is a risk of transferring our reasoning to something, and then we lose our ability to think. And yeah, I think this is something that we might just be aware of and try to balance, it's all about using technology or social media. I think AI is just a new tool that appeared, but
Absolutely.
I'm excited about it, actually.
Yeah.
Because I'm working on that and optimistic about it. Someone needs to have something reliable. And
our optimism has to be tempered by reality, doesn't it? And just as Guy was saying, you can end up not doing the proper testing because you can accelerate past it, and the AI will tell you it's an amazing product anyway, so it doesn't matter. Guy, what are you excited about for the future?
I think with all the transformations that are happening with AI, I think it will leave a space for us to be more humans than ever. So I think that's the thing that I'm excited about and worried about also, because I think we all here probably want to, build stronger relationships. That's our goal. I think as human beings, as social human beings as we are, with AI taking more of the operational tasks and things like that, I really hope that idea really is tangible and happens. But who knows?
Who knows? And your business is all about the future because it's about future generations. What do you see for them? And do you imagine they'll grow up in Valencia? What might their world look like?
That's a very difficult question. I think if you think about the job market for future generations, I think it's a worrying thing. And I worked for 5 years on LinkedIn, and what we see in the data is that AI now is creating more jobs than before. People are hiring less, especially on entry levels. But who knows what's going to happen on future generations? I think a lot of jobs will be replaced by different types of jobs that we don't know what they are. I always try to have an optimistic approach about things. But yeah, it's a very, very difficult question if we think about the job market.
Yeah.
But as I said, I think with automation of tasks, automations of workflows, of the way we operate in companies, I think this will all leave space for us to be more humans and to play games, which is another use case that is kind of peaking. But I hope we can all be more humans and spend time doing things that we all like.
Being human, being playful, those sound like admirable goals. And actually on the jobs front, I think what everybody here is concerned about is making their own work and their own pathway. So I think that's a really important connection. What about you, Angélica? What are you excited about for the future? Concerned about, if you like, but...
Well, I believe in 5 years the world is going to be completely different, and I can see it in corporates especially, and I really believe that this is the opportunity to start to change your mindset, because it's nowadays sorry, what's your name? I forgot. Guy said before, probably we are building new jobs, so we need to get out of our comfort zone. So maybe I was in the consultant business doing things that maybe now AI can do, very fast, build websites, do marketing stuff, analyze financial assets, everything. But the human has the possibility to create and develop new opportunities for new problems. So I think the opportunity now is to change your mindset, embrace the uncertainty, see opportunities out of the regular basis. And I see that, for example, the YouTube market, the social media market is growing very fast. It's now important also to be present in the market. In the past it wasn't, but now it's part of the journey. And if you are afraid to be in front of a camera, if you are afraid to talk to new people, you need to overcome the challenges. So I think this is a great opportunity for people to start to, plant the seed inside and start to think about your future, and not just let the, in 5 years say, oh my God, now what I'm gonna do, and start to be very nervous about it. I don't know.
those 5 years are going to pass anyway, right? So you might as well try and set something in motion. And I hope we're planting some seeds here tonight. I think that's been such interesting insight from our panelists. I don't know, Anna, do we have time for any questions? One last 5-minute round then. Okay. I was going to see if we had any questions from the audience that people are burning to ask, if we've got 5 minutes left, of any of our panelists. Everybody here has got to stand outside, and so I definitely recommend you to go and talk to each of these individual businesses and the others. I'll put my hand up as well, so come and see us. You can come and hang out by Angélica's lovely Zen garden and enjoy the coolness of that flowing water as we contemplate the future. I think we've been left with some very strong themes of how technology and entrepreneurialism combine with a strong streak of humanity. And I think even though we've got 3 incredibly different and diverse entrepreneurs with different backgrounds, different products, different developments, they all ended up on a very optimistic note and a very encouraging note, strongly grounded in Valencia as a great place to build and grow. So I'll hand back to you on that, Anna, and thank you very much to Guy, Tarcísio, and Angélica. Thank you.